that way, isn't it? So that it can be. There is no escaping from everything. In other words, we think that we're just doing things, we're throwing bones over our shoulders, but in reality, everything is recorded, isn't it?
Every single moment, in many names for it, the Book of Life, the Akashic Records.
Yeah.
It's recorded locally in our higher self matrix on the planet, and then that is connected to, say, galactic Gaia, and then there's universal Gaia, and it's all connected.
Wow. So if we begin to think of our lives in terms of kind of being naked, and everything that we do, think, and feel is out there in the universe and for everybody to see, it kind of changes the way we might behave if we actually understood that deeply enough, I would think, yes?
Yes, it's true. Up till now, most of our intelligence, and in fact, most intelligence of nature at this point has been based on hindsight experience, in other words. Learning from experience, learning from making mistakes and correcting. The new intelligence coming in, and we're just about ready for it, is called foresight. And boy, does that speed up everything very beautifully, and it sort of begins the end of karma. Because we're all getting to a level right now where we're starting to realize there is that ideal self within us, there is that higher self matrix within us. And we tap into that, we tap into universal intelligence, and our own higher self matrix evolved enough to tap into that around 2,500 years ago.
Wow.
And that's why humanity peaked spiritually over 2,500 years ago. We've already peaked spiritually.
Oh.
And it just takes a little while for it to settle in, because over 2,500 years ago, concepts and gods changed dramatically, if you'll just look at just our own history. But thoughts like, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, came into being. Now, that's accessing universal consciousness. And just that one alone, you don't need 10 commandments.
Right.
Because that includes looking at nature and looking at everything around you that way. And so what we've had since then is, state religions and everybody saying my God's better than your God, and my God's blue and your God's green, and, children playing with God concepts.
Yeah. Well, I sure do hope that we're at a point where we're getting ready to drop that and grow up a little bit.
Well, we are. We're getting there, and the light has always told me that religious fundamentalism will be the last barrier to us being free. And in fact, religious fundamentalism is more dangerous than nuclear proliferation.
I would agree with you on that.
And it's really that's keeping us from the next step, which the next greatest step in all of human evolution is transcending survival to get the end of poverty on planet Earth. Because once we get out of survival, you become that new creation. Because from day one, from our microbial beginnings to the present moment, we have been caught up in survival. But we're technically at a point now where we can end that and begin this new creation. Think about, and I encourage people in my workshops to think about, what if you didn't have to work for a living? What if you didn't have to worry about the rent or food, which is all technically possible and is definitely in our future? What would you do with your life? Start thinking about that. The universe isn't saying everybody has to do great things, but you've been given a life to make of it what you will. What would you make of it?
Well, that makes a lot of sense, and especially given that so many people feel as if, or have told themselves that they're stuck in jobs that they don't like, with people that they can't stand, because they have to survive, and sometimes they have 2 and 3 jobs. So that doesn't seem to be a positive experience or a harmonic one.
It was a necessary one, because I got to see and look into the mass potential of our future, and you really can't see specific dates or events because it doesn't work that way. That's why all these prophets and people are always wrong. In fact, if they get one thing right, it's a career for them. But I was shown that the people of the future look back at us now, us, the people of the Industrial Revolution, as the giants of all of history.
Really?
absolutely. They are just so amazed at what we were able to accomplish in such a short time that set all of mankind and all of our future free.
Wow.
And it's true. Most of the jobs out there now don't seem to have much meaning in them. And our education system is still set up on the Industrial Revolution system, which is bringing, people off the farms and teaching them to read and operate machines. And then our education system is still that way because we're really just being trained to be consumers and producers.
Right.
We're not really being trained, for the most part, to be superior human beings and self-generating, self-correcting, self-organizing, and self-initiating human beings. That's what's next. And we have the inklings of that all around us with Montessori and all kinds of new education systems. But the people of the future just love us. I mean, we don't see it right now, just like George Washington had no idea what would become. Most people didn't join him in that revolution.
Yeah.
They kind of sat back and say, oh, we'll see what's going to happen. George is going to get his head chopped off. But we also tend to look at ourselves now as these ugly caterpillars that are trying to eat every leaf on every tree.
Yeah.
And we don't realize that within us, we're going into this chrysalis now, and we are about to become butterflies.
Now, that implies a moment of transformation.
Well, a process of transformation. Of course, there is only one moment of now, but that moment sometimes can, it seems like it takes a while.
Yeah, it sure does. An eternity.
Yeah. 1 second or eternity, it's the same.
Really. So how does 2012 play into this process of getting our wings?
Well, it does in a way. One of my most popular talks I do now is really about 2012 and beyond. Forgive me for saying this, but the Mayans weren't New Age shamans.
Okay. And
just as what's happened with the Bible has happened with the ancient information, including the Maya information, it's been cut and pasted to suit whoever. We have picked that date. It's not the most important date by far at all. Remember the harmonic convergence in 87?
Yes, I do.
Fantastic convergence. The difference today is that we have satellite systems and communication systems and cable systems, internet like we never had in 87. So you've got all these history channels and everybody just making the most of distorting this information and freaking people out. Yeah. I've been invited very regularly since 2010 to speak to professional psychology groups and therapist groups to help them understand this because, especially in America, therapists are being flooded with clients that believe the world's going to end in 2012 because they've been watching television.
That's right.
And reading stuff on, reading all this stuff on the internet, which, so I look at, okay, we've all sort of agreed to pick 2012 as sort of a pivotal moment, but the real pivotal moment is probably 2020, 2040. Mm-hmm. And it has nothing to do with Mayans, aliens, comets hitting the planet, or plagues, by the way.
Surprise, surprise.
There's nothing to do with any of that.
Oh,
but it is going to change the world in the most dramatic way imaginable. And it's going to be absolutely natural.
So, if it's none of the above, then is this a self-generating correction or shift in consciousness that you're talking about?
Well, I'll give you just one piece of it that's both sobering, and I say that because a lot of us have gotten very high and giddy on higher consciousness. I mean, just giddy on it. Maybe it's time to sober up a little bit and grow up, so to speak, as spiritual beings. We are becoming the elders. Our elders are dying out. We're becoming the elders now. Yeah. And we have to, so it's up to us to carry a legacy. Mm-hmm. A couple of important things are happening around 2020, certainly by 2040, and that is, we're hitting zero population growth everywhere around the planet. The population seems like it's growing, and it will grow, but it will stop growing very quickly. It's just like a wave that's coming. The part of the wave that's coming at you looks large, but there's another part of the wave that's going back under it. You see? And so when you count world population right now, and it may hit somewhere around 9 billion maybe, but got to keep in mind that over half of this population is over 50 years old.
True. true.
Where are they going to be in 2060? They aren't going to be here. They're going to be, not here. And the population will drop dramatically starting around 2040. It's already begun that process because in Gaia, this is beyond intelligence, doesn't go, oops, I think the population is too late, I ought to do something about it. No, it's way beyond that. So human beings are going to be of so much more value in the future. Right now, when you have too much of everything, nothing seems to have that much value.
Right.
You get spoiled rotten.
That's right.
And so we don't put much value in almost anything we have now.
That's right. You're right about that.
So, especially humans.
No kidding.
It's like you were saying earlier, both parents have to work now, and usually the mother's salary goes to pay a stranger to raise her child.
Yep.
But that's all wrapping up now. It's one of the reasons that the people of the future just love and admire us is because us who lived in our incarnations through the Industrial Revolution gave our blood, our sweat, our tears, and our spirit to all of this. Every machine ever built has a spirit in it. Every machine ever built is a mind machine. It came from the mind.
Right.
And so we have created great spirit, another level of great spirits that will free us. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
What really freed slavery? Because slavery technically ended around 1807. It wasn't the do-gooders. It wasn't churches.
No.
It wasn't that it was wrong.
No.
And it was the machines came in 1807, and you didn't need slaves anymore to be rich. Machines freed the slaves more than anything else. Now, the machines that we have built and the spirits in these machines are going to free us into the future because we're not meant to be industrial animals anymore.
Right.
That's why, and God just bear this a little bit, is that there will never again in the history of the world be as many jobs as there was once before that time is over. Politicians don't want to tell you that. They know it. The church knows it.
Yeah.
Think about it, and you know it too.
Oh, yeah.
So most of our past has been non-industrial. All of our future is non-industrial. We go into a different phase now that frees us. But I'll give you another example. You've got maybe 10,000 years, depending on who you believe, 10 to 5,000 years of heavy spiritual evolution. It still didn't free us. We still couldn't feed ourselves. We still couldn't bring the level up to the mass population that it is now. There are more people that have access to water now than ever before in history. More people. I do a whole workshop just on what we've accomplished at this point. So as we move into the future, we're not supposed to be industrial animals. Our machines will set us free because they'll be doing the kind of things we need done for us, and we will be going on to the next level of this new creation. It's very beautiful. It's as close as maybe one or two incarnations for most of us.
Wow.
It's very close.
Does it seem as if these new creations will be consciously connected to us through the life force or through the spirit that there'll be like living machines that we'll be communicating with?
Yeah, they're already doing that. In fact, you can go to Toys R Us right now and look at these new mind toys where the machines operate by your mind for the children.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're showing up there first.
Oh my goodness!
And they're about $100 or more now. The price will come down, but there's all these new toys that you can get where you control it with your mind.
Oh,
isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. Wow.
So
it makes you want to be a kid again.
and also, for all people that believe in nasty conspiracies and all of that, it's like a lot of people I know, and forgive me for saying this, in the wellness industry, a lot of wellness thinking is illness thinking, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
That's right. The same thing with conspiracies are more powerful than the universe, more powerful than Gaia. It's just, and all these conspiracies sound way too good to be true. It's like if you really knew what was going on, you'd see what an oxymoron all this is. Like the word military intelligence. Give me a break.
Right. Exactly.
Higher consciousness, it's becoming an oxymoron.
Yeah.
And so it's time to move on. And we now